That's steelcitygtsales@gmail.com for Steel City Grease Traps for all of your non-hazardous wastewater removal needs in the tri-state area.
And we're back here live on the Three Rivers Broadcasting Pittsburgh Sports Report. Jordan, what's going on today? Or what are you doing? Weather now? You want to give people the weather update? All right, let's hear what's going on in the sports world.
Well, we have the NBA Finals going on. The Suns are leading 2-1, Game 4 against the Bucks. The Washington Wild Things game with Tri-City Valley Cats got rained out today. So
not a lot going on in the world of sports right now with the All-Star break, and but I'm excited about Elijah. I mean, you were talking about it. We're excited about the NBA Finals. I think could go 7. I think a lot of it comes down to point guard play with Milwaukee, and their point guard showed up last game and they pulled it out. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Like I told you, I think sometimes these pro sports, it seems like they always go 7 in the NBA Finals.
It's a little too convenient that they all go 7 games now for me. But I'm not. We won't do conspiracy theory sports talk. That's not why we're here.
So we have an interesting guest here from your neck of the woods, Alex.
That's right.
And I already said that people from New Jersey get a lot of love on this show. I've been
probably more than we deserve.
I've been talking to Coach Timinski for a while and that's kind of the power of social media. Coach, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me. And I'll try and do my best to follow Joey the Truth. But
Joey the Truth is a tough act to follow. We love having Joey on, and I'm happy you gave us a little bit of your time today. I know you and I have talked for a couple years now about as trainers and about kind of what's going on in the world of, and I know you coach high school as well. About the value and kind of what's going on right now in the training world of basketball, where we have so many parents that are kind of falling for what I would consider, I don't know, they're bad apples. I mean, there's people that are selling parents on, on all the social media hype, on all the offers, on all the things that are not going to happen for their kid, or they would happen regardless of who that kid plays for AAU. And in my opinion, a lot of that money and time would be much better spent training to become a better player and being around people that are going to guide you in the direction that you need to be. Now, granted, I understand that's the tough part, is finding who those people are. But that's why I wanted to get you on the show today and talk a little bit about what you got going on at Basketball Warehouse and some advice for parents today trying to navigate all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as you had mentioned, we talk all the time about, the absurd parts of what has become this AAU world and even the training world to a certain extent, where people are just truly getting bad advice. There are players that drove all the way to Chicago or Indianapolis last week who played a few games, didn't play in front of a college coach, spent thousands of dollars, and probably would have been a lot better off if they just got a ball and went to the park every day and practiced on their own. There's just so many people who are selling dreams to kids. It's almost a shame to a certain extent, because it's a lot of unrealistic expectations. It's a lot of disappointment. There's a lot of hype. The D1 or bus guys that are out there that seem to only sell that because it makes their program a little bit more money. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but there are just so many parents that don't know any better. And they're literally investing thousands of dollars for what they think is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And it doesn't happen, because the development that you and I message about so often, it just doesn't occur. You just don't get better. If you haven't played varsity yet and you're traveling to play 5 AAU games in a weekend, it's just misguided. And it's a shame, because no matter how many times, and you and I talk about it a lot, how many times you suggest, hey, stay home, work on your skills, find a good trainer, get in condition, run every day, lift weights, go to the park and shoot jump shots. People feel left out when they're not, in that AAU world. And I don't begrudge anybody for doing it, but it's just, I see the disappointment, and I see it on the back end where kids come back and, they're not any better, they're out of shape, and they haven't had any colleges even come to any of their games, because most of the games are on court 90 in a building that has 120 courts. So it's a challenging time. And then you add in the fact that a lot of the seniors in college have 50 years. Some of the coaches aren't even recruiting this year as often as they would have in the past. It's a crazy time, but I try to be as positive to everyone as I can.
Coach Alex Fidrishevsky here. Just wanted to kind of piggyback off of what you said. I think you make a real great point about the parents who, maybe they're not as invested in or knowledgeable on the recruiting game as some others, or parents who played the sport in college, where they can kind of start to ascertain their son or daughter's level a little bit earlier than those who haven't. And when you talk about that pot of gold, trying to see, I always try to do this without like lambasting the parent, because in some ways it's not their fault. But when you get into that situation where every parent thinks on the AAU circuit that their kid's going to get that offer, whether it's Bryant Bucknell or whoever else, I think you get those, like you said, these hard lessons that are learned, and I think they are avoidable in a lot of situations. But there's, like Andy said, there's some bad actors out there, and there's so much more money that can be invested in time into just the development of the individual skill sets, that as Andy was a college coach, a lot of times you want a complete player, not just somebody who can, put up some shots.
Absolutely. And I see it, all the time, where these players, they're just not developing like they should. And we really have it backwards. You really shouldn't play in front of college coaches or even play at a high level competitive AAU situation until your skills are ready, until you're confident, until you have the ability to compete and to perform. And the mental aspect of it, some of these kids are truly beaten down by the time they're a senior in high school, and they've been dragged all over the place. And some of them play on multiple AAU teams because, the grass they think is always greener on the other side, and it's not. And, you see them, they have this exhausted look on their face, and basketball is not fun anymore. And you can apply this to all the sports now, because I see it in travel softball and baseball, and it doesn't become fun, and you lose that edge, and you lose all those things. And I tweet about it a lot, and Andrew will vouch for it. Go to the park, pick up a ball.
Nobody does it anymore.
Nobody does it anymore, and it's because they're afraid. And I even tell the kids that come to our training facility, where we earn a living off of them, I like when you come here, but I'd be a lot happier if you went to the park and practiced all the things that we worked on your own, because that's how we grew up. We didn't have AAU, we didn't have training facilities. We weren't even allowed in the high school gym during the summer when I grew up in the 80s. So it was get a ball and go to the park and play. And then you go to the other park where they have older guys who played, and then you go to another park where you had younger guys who played, and that's where you develop. And if you're on your own, and it's when you guys texted me about Pittsburgh, I remember going to the 5-star basketball camp in
Robert Morris. Actually, Elijah is a football player at RMU, so
awesome. And I got on a plane, I flew there by myself. You didn't have a cell phone, and I figured it out. I made friends, and I survived the week. And it wasn't easy, but I was better for it as a player. And now just this environment of, the teams are traveling everywhere, and it's expensive. There are families that are spending $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 to travel across the country for what? And, and that's not to say every situation isn't a positive one where scholarships are produced, but the large portion of kids just need to focus on getting better.
Yeah, and what bothers me is, I think you and I laugh about it quite a bit. I've been a college coach for over a decade, and what always kills me is anytime I say something that doesn't fit the narrative, I have all these people yelling and screaming at me, but you don't have to subscribe to what I'm telling you. You can do your own thing, but it's so funny that so many people ask, what do college coaches think about this, or what do college coaches think about that? And then when we volunteer things on social media that doesn't fit the narrative, or potentially takes money out of the AAU pocket, well, everybody wants to jump down your throat. So it's craziness to me, because at the end of the day, every single kid is, in my opinion, a quote unquote free agent. You have to do what's best for you to get to that college level.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean always following what everybody else that you're friends with or that's on your travel team or high school program is doing. Sometimes you need to do what's best for you. And it's exactly what you're talking about is a lot of times it's just getting in the gym, getting better, and then taking those skills and the things that you've learned out to a showcase or out to maybe 3 AAU tournaments where there actually are going to be college coaches watching you. And putting together those highlights and putting together that body of work to say, hey, instead of me spending my entire summer doing this relentlessly, I'm actually just going to do it a couple of weeks for these guys or a couple unique weekends and say, hey, this is my body of work.
I agree, and what bothers me as a high school coach and as a guy who, again, there was AAU was really just starting when I was in high school, and I graduated high school in '90, so there was, I think, 4 AAU teams in the state of New Jersey at the time, and it was just totally different. But what bothers me is the whole high school experience is also glossed over. It's not that important anymore because all they care about is getting to a AAU team so they can play in front of college coaches. And I remember saying to a parent one time, you know what? Stay home, get better, and if your daughter averages 20 points a game this year, colleges will notice her. I can promise you. Just get better.
I agree, and Alex and I have talked about this. I think it's a complex problem, and it's a problem that the NCAA has actually invented in regards to this basically putting high school basketball down, because what they've done is they've basically created these quote unquote open periods, particularly for Division I programs, which is really the only time that these Division I coaches can get out and watch these prospects outside of, occasionally they're going to go follow up and watch a kid at the high school level. But they've created this system, and it only really fits Division I. It doesn't fit 2, 3, NAIA, JUCO, but everybody kind of has been conned into thinking, well, I have to abide by this NCAA program of recruitment, even when you don't. I mean, Jordan here, I recruited her to Point Park University, which is an NAIA scholarship program. One of the things I love about NAIA is it's open season. It's an open period, 365 days a year. But a lot of people don't know that.
Right. And also what a lot of people don't know, and you and I talked about this a lot, and I've seen you tweet about it, and it's also one of those things that it's looked at almost funny, but you can go to a Division III program, have great grades, get tons of academic and athletic or school scholarships, and basically get more money than some kid who's on a half scholarship at a Division I program.
Yeah, I think Alex can speak to that. I mean, he was a Division III soccer player at a really good university. Going to be a university, right?
Wow, yeah, Moravian's transitioning these days.
But
listen, I think there were guys, I can tell you right now, football players when I was at Moravian College, there were football players, and maybe I'm going to get in trouble with the school as an alum, but they didn't, at this point, but there were football players who had full scholarships, essentially. Not athletic, but they had full academic aid there. They were going to a $50,000 a year school for books.
Yep. And to me, that's a scholarship. I don't care how you phrase it.
What does it matter if it's academic or athletic? Aid is aid.
Well, the other dynamic, and a lot of people don't get this, is how many professional players, particularly in basketball, have gone on from Division II, Division III, NAIA to play overseas. Yep. Oftentimes, it's even more than guys coming out of Division I programs. But people don't want to crunch those numbers and figure that out. So, if you're looking to make a living through basketball or any sport, oftentimes those opportunities are much richer at that Division II NAIA D3 level, because they're going to work with you to try to get you overseas or turn you into a coach. And it's not this roundabout dynamic of, revolving door, I got to get the next best player in, you're done, move on.
And the talent is incredible. I mean, and like you said, too many people who are judging a certain level have never seen that level, never been to a practice, they've never played with a player who's played at a Division II or Division III school. They've never seen the competition level, and they immediately dismiss it. But you know as well as I do, particularly, let's take girls basketball. The top 30 or 40 teams in Division I are really, really good. But after that, there are Division II and Division III teams that would beat teams.
Oh, we got
40,
Jordan knows this firsthand. We scheduled every single year I've been at the NAIA. We would schedule Division Ones and have them cancel. Oh, we don't want to play you guys.
Yeah,
You know, and,
they're afraid to play, and
right.
because they risk all of their social media getting blasted. And I'm not knocking them. I'm knocking anybody. I just think when kids are looking to play college basketball, no matter where you play, the county college up through to Duke, it's an incredible opportunity, and it should be treated with a lot more respect and not looked down upon and not always frowned upon, because there are so many chances. And at the end of the day, if you use it to get an education and to position yourself for the next step, whatever that is, well, then it's all been worth it.
Yeah, and I think you just hit the nail on the head. There's certain people that are going to LSU, Ohio State, Penn State. Those players, by and large, might have an opportunity to play in the NFL or the NBA or something. That's one thing. When you're a kid that's not going to have that opportunity, and I think by the time you get to high school, you should, or senior year in high school, you probably have a good idea. I'm not going to the NBA here. I might, but probably not. But I better make sure that I get a great education, and I better make sure I figure out the way to do it the most cost-effective way that I can. So I want to go to college, get an education, not pay a ton of money for it. So if I can get money off while playing a sport, that's awesome. And then if I actually make this commitment, I'd like to go to a school where I'm actually getting playing time and not just sitting on the bench for 4 years, averaging, 1.3 points a game for my career. That's to me not really worth it.
No, and there's so many times where kids, if they just open their mind, or parents, if they just open their mind, but it's tough. It's keeping up with the Joneses, and it's not sexy on social media to say I got, I had and now we're tweeting phone calls. I got a phone call from, let's say a Division III.
Strong interest. Yeah.
It's not sexy to say that, but at the end of the day, would you rather go to Williams and graduate, or would you rather go to a Division I school that wins 2 games a year and is a miserable existence for 4 years? It's very frustrating because, like I said, I played Division II. My daughter currently plays Division III. My wife played 2 sports at the University of Virginia. My brother was a walk-on to Florida for Billy Donovan. So I've seen all the levels, and it's just, I keep saying, and it just get better and just get better. And you can use basketball instead of basketball using you, and you can substitute basketball and put softball or baseball or football or any other sport in there. It's just, there's so many opportunities, and I just see this rat race now, and it came back after COVID worse than ever. I mean, it's amazing, the tournaments and every kid is tweeting their highlights nonstop. Half of them I can't even see what they're doing. It's so far away. It's just a sense of desperation, and I just know, unfortunately, for a lot of these kids, there's disappointment at the end, and it's tough. But I just keep trying to give advice, and I know most people look at me and shake their head and go to somebody else who will tell them what they want to hear sometimes. But Andrew, you and I, we go back and forth, and it's
yeah. I saw a great Nick Carroll, who runs Prep Hoops. I retweeted it today. He put, "Attention prospects. The truth is, nobody from high school will follow your career once you get to college. You'll get some retweets and likes when you commit. Then 99.9% of your peers move on. Now is not the time to worry about cool. All that matters is fit and opportunity." That's spot on.
That's
awesome. I think Jordan and Elijah, like, how many of your high school? I mean, you guys are playing big time college sports. I mean, you're an NAI scholarship player. Elijah, you're a Division I football player. But I don't even talk to a lot of people I went to high school with. And, occasionally I'll get I'm sure you get, hey, nice game, or I'll watch you on TV. But once you get to college, you're kind of focused on, you're focused on the people that you're friends with in college. And
Exactly.
It becomes a job. And as I had mentioned, my brother Mark, who was a walk-on to Florida, who played with Jason Williams and Adonis Haslam and Mike Miller and those guys, and played for Billy Donovan. So he was at essentially the highest level as a walk-on. Said to me one time, after we were frustrated and talking with some players, he said, college basketball is not all one shining moment. It's difficult. Nobody cares at times. It's a cold, empty gym. It's 50 people in the bleachers. It's practices on the days when your classmates are on spring break. So many people, they just put so many eggs in this college basketball basket without even knowing what it really means.
Yeah,
and what,
you can
what
talk
they're
to
doing.
Elijah. What time you guys practicing? Now it's summer. Most kids are on summer break. What are you guys doing right now?
We're practicing at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m.
There you go.
You can choose.
Yeah, right. There you go. So that's
they're
what kids
optional,
don't get. That that he's in the gym lifting, and then we have him here. He's working on his internship. He's here sometimes till 9:30 working on his career and as a starting Division I running back. So while balancing his grades, so a lot of kids don't get that. They just see, like you said, the sexy factor. But there's so much hard work that goes into this. And a lot of kids really don't want it. Their parents want it for them. Because they want the bragging rights and all that. But once the kids actually see what it consists of, they're like, I'd rather just be a college kid. And I'm totally cool with that. That's fine. It's your life.
Absolutely. And you see it in varying degrees. There are some kids who immediately get to college and you can tell right away that this is not anything that they wanted.
Yeah, remember I tweeted the other day, I said, hey, if you're a 21 commit and you've committed to a school and you're not working really hard right now in mid-July, you're in a lot of trouble. Because those seniors and those juniors and those sophomores all coming back, most of those people are working their tail off. So if you show up as all your coaches always talk up prospects. Oh, we got this 6'11" kid coming in. But if he didn't work all summer, I know I'd be salivating at the math. Oh, yeah, wait till he gets on campus. I'll show him, as a junior, what it's like to play college ball. There's that competition level going on internally in that team all the time.
Absolutely. And I have the conversation with kids that are in college. I say, look, it's your responsibility. It's your job to show up on campus in shape and prepared. And it's amazing to me how many kids just don't. And for various reasons, and that goes back to our original discussion, which, the foundation of who they are as a player, the development, the role models that they have, the messages that they get as younger players in all sports. It needs to be more about the fundamentals, about doing things the right way, about getting better every day, about committing, about commitment to the team. And, I think the overall sports landscape will be stronger if that ever occurs, because right now it's the most talented kids get all the attention. They fly through it right into the NBA quickly or right into Division I. And there are so many lessons along the way that are just glossed over. And a lot of what you had alluded to, Andrew, is a lot of those coaches in those programs cater to those guys. I'd rather have a gym filled of kids fighting to make the JV team than a gym full of Division I All-Stars who are trying to make the NBA, because I can identify more with the JV kids.
And you know what? Like Alex and I have talked a lot about this with our interns as well. And I kind of wanted to transition for you to kind of tell us a little bit about Basketball Warehouse, how you guys got that started. And kind of what that program consists of. But one of the reasons I think me and you get along so well, and my gym rat program is very much a lot like Basketball Warehouse, is I've always tried to cater this program to kids that just want to get better. So Alex and I, we've talked about this at length, is, we've now no longer have a 9th grade team. They've put all these kids on JV. We've said, hey, it's not really important to have JV games. We're just having JV for the fun of it type stuff. That kind of mindset is not working. I think that development factor is so important. And Alex comes from a soccer background, and we've talked a lot about, these academy systems that the Europeans are using in soccer, where the best players in a particular area no longer are doing the travel AAU stuff, but they're basically
they're doing it in basketball too.
Right.
They have academies for these teams in Zagreb,
but
and
affiliated
all those
with pro teams and pro coaches.
Well, the pro teams own them.
Yes.
They're run by Barcelona's basketball academy is run by the same team, Barcelona, the sporting association that has a soccer team. They run it the same way. And you see the result. The rest of the world has caught up to us, and I put this out on Twitter. The rest of the world has caught up to us in basketball like we've caught up to the rest of the world in soccer by doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Correct.
I think so.
And we forgot to do it in basketball.
Yeah, so I mean, if we have opportunities where these kids, instead of kind of doing the rat race all summer, but instead are kind of, I don't want to say it has to be team and game oriented, but they're connected with professional organizations or professional trainers like Basketball Warehouse, where there's a track record. You say, hey, you know what? This kid, I know if they're in that program, they're going to get results over the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and that's truly what it is. And to answer your question, what we did at the Basketball Warehouse, it was my brother and I, obviously, and it's our family business. We have a mattress and furniture business, and we have this space in the back that we have dedicated to a court. So it's very unique. If you've ever seen the pictures, you can identify right away. But what we noticed was that everybody wanted to play games in AAU, but nobody wanted to teach a kid how to practice on their own. What does a kid do when he or she are by themselves with a basketball to practice on their own? How do they practice? What kind of energy levels do you need to have? What drills should you do? So we've dedicated ourselves. Basically, it's a workout. It's not my brother and I standing around talking for 50 of the 60 minutes. You walk into the gym and you get to work. And so we teach kids how to get better on their own. It gives them enormous confidence. And if you walk into our gym, and we don't collect any money, it's an honor system. We have a mailbox that you put the money in. It's $10 per workout. If you have the money that day, you put it in. If you don't, you pay us the next time. So we don't walk in and hit you over the head with, hey, it's X amount of dollars and you didn't pay us. And it's about getting better. So it builds enormous confidence. And you can walk into the warehouse, and in any given night, you could have a girl who's going to Rider or UCLA on the same court with a girl who got cut as a freshman, but they're doing the workout together, and they're all treated the same. Mark and I, who's my brother, we grew up, we used to go to these practices where the best players got talked about and noticed, and we're on the good courts. And we, because we were smaller and not as athletic and not very good at the time, got kind of shoved to the side, and we didn't really get any attention. And we had shown up to get better, and we didn't get treated the same. So not everybody has to get treated the same in other environments, but at the warehouse, that's what we do.
Yeah, I love that. And I think I'm showing our staff here some of the pictures of the warehouse, and that's kind of how I operate too. We operate off, we get some courts up at high schools, and we'll rent stuff every once in a while, but the majority of our practices or our workouts happen on a little racquetball court at Amerifit Fitness Club. I got a hoop, I got a hard floor, and I got basketball. So let's get after it. And what you have right there, I'm showing the guys with the mattresses in the background and stuff. It doesn't have to be like you said, it doesn't have to be a sexy environment. We just want people in there that want to get better. I've always, I have my prices listed. They're transparent. If you can't afford it, give me a call. We'll work something out. I kind of operate under that old boxer mentality. If you can't pay for boxing lessons, but you want to come work, come clean the gym up or teach a class to the younger kids, we'll figure out a way to get you better. But kids have to be willing to get in the gym and realize it's going to be hard. I love how you have the kids like on different mornings, they're running around and like actually conditioning, and it's outside, and it's not always catered to AC.
No, and our warehouse is a 100-year-old building that the other day I actually had to cancel the workout because it was 93 degrees inside.
Yep.
But that was a rare thing. But what we do is we run outside, we run a half mile before we get started. We do sprints in the parking lot. It's just, and I don't know, old school, I guess, but it's the only thing we knew growing up. It was you run every day, you condition every day, you get better every day. And it's an environment that also, too, the coaches know, because of our track record, which we're very proud of, that they're going to go in there and they're not going to get sold anything other than if you work hard, you're going to get better. Invest in these drills, invest your time in getting better. And as you had mentioned, Andrew, it's not always like that. Some programs just want to take pictures of the sexy kids or the superstar kids, and I don't really care. I never have. And quite honestly,
let's just get better. And I agree. I mean, I've never been. I don't care about popularity contests. Some people really like me. Some people don't like me. Most of those people that don't like me don't even know me. So it doesn't. If you get in the gym with us, we're going to treat you great. You're going to get a lot of individual attention. Most of the kids that train with us, just like you, they're with us for years. So that's the kid I'm gonna work with. Jordan, I've been fortunate enough to coach her as a college coach, and we still have those players come back and get in the gym with us all the time because they know they're going to get results and they know we're going to treat them the right way. And that's all I can ask for as a training company.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I've seen your videos and I've seen how you message things, and it's very similar to what we do. And one of the best compliments we can get is when somebody says, "Oh, he or she, that's a warehouse kid."
I love it. Yeah, that's what I'd say. The same thing. That's one of that kid. That kid's a gym rat. Yep.
No, yep. And what they're not saying that kid's the best player on the court. What they're saying is that kid has worked hard. That kid has overcome a lot of obstacles. That kid believes in himself. That kid has gotten in better shape. And we're a small little program doing the best we can, and it's I'm grateful. Some of the relationships that I've had, this relationship, and thousands of others that have developed as a result of it. I feel very grateful. I feel very lucky. I feel very blessed because there's nothing better. And as a coach, man, sometimes you don't hear it when you're going through it with the kids, but a year later or 2 years later, you get that thank you text or you get that message that says, "Now I understand what you mean. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for the warehouse." It means a lot.
Prime example. One of the best things. It happens off the court. Jordan, our intern, I recruited her out of high school. She's sitting here with us right now, and I said to her, I think you do really, really well in broadcasting. And now she's with us right now working on, hopefully becoming a professional broadcaster. It has nothing to do with basketball. It was, we were connected through basketball, and being able to kind of have those mentorship dynamics and become friends with these kids. And, one day you get invited to their wedding or something like that. That's why I've always gotten into coaching. That's what's been fun for me about it.
It really is. And I like to really say that basketball is just a vehicle for us to convey that message of hard work, because most of our kids are never going to continue to play a sport. Like all of us have a finite experience, but I still hear the message of my mentors every day, the working hard and believe in yourself and the getting through difficult times. And, I know how special it is to hear those messages from the coaches that meant a lot to me. I hope down the road, those kids, when they're going through a tough time or they're started a new job or, they're lacking confidence in something, they hear that warehouse message or that gym rat message, because, again, basketball is a small part of a lot of these kids' lives, and it's different for everybody, but the message of hard work and persistence, I think, carries through to all phases of life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, we really appreciate you coming on with us. I hope one day we can get you down here in Pittsburgh. And I know Alex is from your neck of the woods, so I definitely think we're going to have to make a trip up to the warehouse.
Road trip, we could broadcast live from the warehouse.
Yeah.
And,
hey, I'm home. I'm home the second week of August and the first week of September. I'm coming by.
What part of town you from, or what part of Jersey you from, Alex?
All right. I was born in Summit, grew up in Middletown.
Oh, perfect. We're right in Edison, and I live in Woodbridge, and we're right in the middle of Raritan Center is where our warehouse is.
Okay, so it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to partner up on some stuff.
All right, man. I'll tell you what, guys, it's truly been an honor. I feel absolutely flattered that you even would want me on your show, and you guys are doing a great job. I watched some of the older shows. This is good stuff, guys. And Andrew, it was great to finally, I guess you could say we talked in person.
Yeah. Close enough on the Zoom, but I agree. I think we are going to meet in person coming up here. It's always good to work with like-minded people and people that I think are making a real positive impact on the game of basketball and on young people.
Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And best of luck with the new show. I'll be listening.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back here on the Pittsburgh Sports Report on 3riversbroadcasting.com.